So I feel as if our whole lives have been leading up to this pathetic moment, which could be an amazing thing or could be a tragic thing. But either way, this is our 100th episode. So I thought maybe this week we would talk about, you and I have seen several movies recently that I think are worth discussing.
They're noteworthy.
Would be noteworthy. There's been some news, some movie news we might discuss. And then I thought maybe a fun segment to top it all off toward the end would be comments, hate comments. Comments, hate comments.
Hate comments.
The hate comments. Comments, the hate comments. Yes, we'll read some funny comments from my YouTube channel just because I like getting that sweet validation by talking about it on air.
Yeah, he's good for it.
Anyway, so what's been up with you, Hitchcock? We really have been slacking recently on the whole episode schedule, and I'm thinking we need to get back in our stride. We need to keep doing this once a week, because it's been this way every episode recently where we don't do it for a month, and then when we try to do the next episode, we feel really awkward and out of place. And it just emphasizes how pathetic and poorly planned
you get out of the rhythm. You get out of it.
And don't you miss the days when we just were ready to do an episode every Saturday morning, right?
Oh, yes, miss the days.
We need to go back to those days.
Every 3 weeks we'd have to scratch one because something would go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's like every, 5 months, because it's just like we do 5 episodes for 5 months.
Yeah, well.
Oh, boy.
We really, maybe we should recount
School, though.
School,
though.
Oh, okay.
School. That's the problem here.
It is the problem.
School has begun.
I'm done with school.
It's in full swing.
I hate it. And I think I should drop out and just do podcasting full time. If I could put up with this every day. What would you think about recapping some old Blockbusted memories, if you will, having a sweet biopic memoir? What are some of your favorite, most classic Blockbusted,
my in quotation fond memories of this podcast?
Fond italices memories of Blockbusted in history.
What are the fond ones? Are there any fond memories?
I don't know. That was what I was kind of asking. I don't know.
I remember one time there was a thunderstorm during one of our episodes.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. I remember one time, there have obviously been a numerous amount of distractions and interruptions in our Blockbusted episodes over the years.
Classics.
I remember one where...
The Brick Hater showed up.
The Brick Hater showed up, yes. My dad... barged in. I also remember another time when we were podcasting and I just started hearing a knocking on the wall, and I was like, "What?" Okay. And then I opened the door to the closet because Blockbusted is recorded in a closet, as we know.
It is.
And I looked out the window next to the closet, and my dad was like hammering a gutter onto the wall. Amazing. He was just on a ladder, and I was like, Dad, I'm podcasting, and he's hammering a gutter on the wall next to the closet. So that was one, I remember. Yeah. I remember my sister barging in here several times, obviously. Yep. Classic memories of awfulness. And I also remember my mother coming in several times. I remember one time. This was real good. I think we cut this.
Okay.
But one time when I went on one of my political rants, right?
One of them.
And I was saying, I think it was after Trump had won the election, and I referred to Melania Trump as a porn star.
Oh, yes, I remember
Which,
this.
to be fair, isn't, like, that far from the truth. Like, she was on Playboy magazine and posed nude in photo shoots and whatever. Sure. But I said, we'll have our first porn star first lady, which is a slight exaggeration, at least. And my mom busted in because she, I do this podcast in their closet because it's the most spacious closet in the house.
Yeah.
And my mom opened the door and she was like, "She is not a porn star. I won't have you spreading these lies, this fake news." My mom hates the Trumps, but she was like, "Don't call her a porn star." So that was, I think, a moment we cut from the Blockbusted time stream, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, if you think about all the interruptions have really been on your side, haven't they?
No, they haven't. Not at all.
Sure?
There have been plenty of interruptions where you've had to go and be like, "Guys, keep it down. God.
Shut up,
guys." I remember your siblings playing instruments in the background. Your dad playing a guitar at one point. I remember that. Just
Didn't
lots
they
of
turn like the
lots of
record
quality
player
stuff.
ones? Yeah, the thing is, like,
Yeah.
they won't come barging into the room like
Right.
like your family does.
They'll just do
They'll
everything
they'll just do
possible
everything out
outside of
there.
the room.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just be obnoxious out there. So.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
What about Drewceptions? Right? We
Drewceptions.
That was a
They've
big
been
thing
here.
that used to happen.
They have.
Usually back in the day when we started the podcast. First of all, we've been doing this.
How did that get started? I wonder. I can't even remember how I started this.
Was
The
it
basic principle is I pull some big hoax on Houston and just screw up his life.
right? So like in the first starting year or so of the podcast, not every time because it would be too obvious if it was every time, but many times we would do an episode. Drew would be like, "Oh, I can't do it today because my grandma got sick and she's dying," or "Oh, I can't do it today." The most recent one was "Oh, I can't do it today because I'm going to see the Monster Trucks movie." Remember that?
With my brother, yes.
Remember when you sent us a photo of you in the car going to see the Monster Trucks movie? Oh my gosh. Yeah. And me and Chance were just waiting to do an episode for like 30 minutes trying to call you to see if you were actually going to see the Monster Trucks movie. Then there was the one...
That was a good one.
Oh my
that
gosh.
was a good one.
There was one where I said, do you go... A few days ahead of time I had said, you live in Seattle, which is near the border. Have you ever gone camping in Canada or something? Or have you ever been to Canada? And you said on the day that we were supposed to do our podcast, I was like, all right, you ready? And you were like, no, I'm camping in Canada right now. And I was like, what? And the problem is, I never have any way to prove you wrong. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll have to go with this. And so I would always be held captive to your hostage sense. Man.
That's amazing.
What other ones?
What's another one? I think I tricked you for a while that I didn't see Guardians Volume 2. That was recent, I think.
Oh yeah, there was one like that, wasn't there? Where you were like, I didn't get in the theater; they were sold out or something. And then like 2 days later, you would like, oh no, I saw it that night.
Well, I think with Guardians, I remember I went to see it on a Friday night with some of my buddies, and afterwards, I was driving home. I'm like, I think we were hoping to do a podcast tomorrow morning. Yeah. Or that would be Saturday morning, the next morning. And so in my mind, I was just planning, I'm gonna say I didn't get the chance because it was still up in the air. I wasn't sure if I was gonna see it. I was just gonna say I didn't get to go see it, and so I'm just gonna say let's just go ahead and do the episode. We can talk about something else. And then during the episode, I was gonna break it.
Oh yeah,
that I saw it, and then we go talk about it. But then I think my mom caught wind that I was gonna do that. And she's like, "Don't do that. That's so mean. Don't do that." I'm like, fine.
Classic.
Oh, that's so good though.
I also remember. I'm trying to think what the first one was.
I know. I'm
trying to think if there was one in real life that you did, like when we saw each other one time, and then like, oh man, what was it?
Might have been.
Yeah, I think the first one might have been the camping in Canada one, where you. I was like, is this a Drewception? And then there have been ones with multiple layers as well. That's what I'm trying to remember. There have been ones where there was a joke within the joke.
They've gone really deep, yeah. It's like, oh no, I'm not doing that, I'm doing that, which turned out to be that because I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Classic.
It's been crazy.
Drewception.
Oh jeez.
What else have we done on Blockbusted over the years? We've had a few guests.
I think those were the days where I was just like, I really don't want to do an episode, so I'm going to make it a bit interesting.
Man, it's good to know how you really felt. Yeah, we have.
I know.
We've had Chance on a few times. Had Jacob. Have we had Jacob on? I'm trying to think.
We haven't.
No.
He's still mad at us for not having him on.
I confuse it because I've been on Jacob's podcast a few times, but...
Wait, Jacob who?
Jacob Suggs.
He has a podcast?
Well, I don't think he does it anymore, but back when he did it, he had like a few episodes or something, and I was on one of them.
Okay.
And then we've had Jonathan from Marby Studios 82 on. Yeah. Had Alex on.
EP Studios. We had him several times.
Oh, that's a classic memory. Was when we did our recap of 2015 movies that time with him.
Oh shoot!
Right?
Yeah, and my audio screwed up.
We recorded an entire episode, like an hour long, and Drew's audio screwed up, and
I felt so bad.
We had to redo the entire episode.
Oh my god!
And I was just like, I'm sorry, Alex. And I remember being like, hey, if you need to leave, you can, but we're going to do it again. Oh, man.
That was awful.
I'll probably
Oh my
never
gosh.
go and re-listen to that episode because it'd be so cringe, right?
Oh, it would be. Oh, it would be bad. It'd
Just
be-
as this one
I
will
remember
be.
one. I remember one. I remember screwing up the time travel one that we tried to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always been you.
I remember I screwed that one up.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
There have been several audio things. And then, of course, like, we started out with the microphone. We started out with you using that microphone that we bought.
It was
or
like
that you
$15
bought. Right,
$15
$15
on
microphone.
Amazon. Some
Yeah.
little dinky thing. Hook it up to. Or no, the first episode we ever did. I remember we didn't have the adapter for my microphone. So the first episode ever, I just recorded on my dad's laptop using GarageBand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the mic came. I got all this stuff. I ended up using that. Then we found out, oh, the computer would work better, so I moved my mom's desktop up here.
Yeah.
I just used the computer. And then we're like, we'll just get this app on the iPad and just use the iPad.
Oh, yeah, you did
So then
use
I
the
used
iPad for the longest time, yeah.
forever. I remember that's when the time travel one screwed up. I was messing
Mm-hmm.
with the settings, and that's what screwed it up. And then, Black Friday, you got the blue snowball for a real good deal.
Yeah, boy. And then I sent it to
that
you.
over.
That was a
And then we
big
used
moment.
That was life-changing.
And then finally,
finally
we
we
both
got
have the
the
same
Zoom.
mic, the Zoom. Yeah. That was a good investment because now we at
That
least sound the
was.
same.
That was. Good investment for, like, the 5 episodes we've done with.
Oh, of course. And then, of course, we have done, I guess we've had 2 occasions in which we've done episodes in person. The first time was when you came for the summer, not the whole summer, but 1 week during the summer.
I only remember one.
Well, I mean, we did the whole stuff on camera, the live
Yeah, okay, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So you came during
Yeah,
the
I was
summer
jealous.
of 2016, and me and you
Yep.
saw, what did we see? Now You See Me Too and Finding Dory.
Yes,
Neither of
we
which were
did.
very good.
No, they were all meh.
But so then we did all those little mini-sodes
Yeah, that was fun.
on camera in my studio
We also
downstairs.
vlogged that whole trip.
Yeah, that was so fun.
That was good.
It's real
That was
good.
real good.
Those vlogs still hold up too. Like it is funny. Most stuff that we've done, you can't look back on because it's awful. But
Yeah.
those vlogs still
yeah,
hold up.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then the next episode we did in person was the one this past
The
spring.
lake house. Yes.
The Fate of the Furious episode at the lake house, which is now sold. Unfortunately, we've sold the lake house.
Oh yes.
Ugh.
Oh.
Freaking
The
oh my
memories.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, we did Fate of the Furious. Didn't we have some? We were talking about Thor too.
Yeah,
What else did we talk about that
because
episode?
Last Jedi trailer had dropped.
Oh yes.
and the Thor trailer had
yeah.
dropped.
That was great. We were. Yeah, I remember that.
Can you believe
Yeah.
we haven't had a Last Jedi trailer since that one back in
I
April?
absolutely love it.
I know, right?
It's making me so happy. Like I think, I mean, we'll probably get one more.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if we don't, I'm totally cool with it. You know.
Yeah.
Cause like, yeah, I love it. It's just
I've been
a normal
thinking about
movie,
that
right?
recently. I've been thinking about what trailers will drop when. Because
Yeah.
I think they'll probably do another one of these stupid final trailers for Thor.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That might even be soon. That might even be like with Blade Runner this week or something. I would guess maybe they'll drop it with that. And then, because I'm trying to speculate when the Infinity War trailer will drop. I'm thinking, because Black
With Thor
Panther.
Ragnarok, right?
Well, Black Panther comes out before Infinity War, and we've only had one trailer for that.
Ah.
So I think maybe we'll get another Thor
Black Panther
trailer,
with Thor.
and then we'll get a Black Panther trailer with Thor,
Yeah.
and then I'm thinking Infinity War trailer maybe December attached to Last Jedi is what I would think.
Right, I'd see that. Yeah.
And then because I was the Avengers 1 and 2, their trailers, both of them came out in May, and their trailers dropped both in October. But Civil War came out in May, and that was the most recent Avengers-esque movie, and that trailer dropped like November 24th or something.
Okay.
So
I see.
I wouldn't think it would be that far-fetched for the Infinity War trailer to actually drop in December, and for them to wait a while for it. Keep people with bated breath, you know?
Oh, they just need to give it to us.
What a dilemma, right?
Seriously.
Man.
Life of a podcaster, having to analyze these things, you know, it's just it's
Yeah,
difficult
it's
sometimes.
exhausting. I remember
It
one
is.
time back at Comic-Con, Joe and Anthony Russo was like, where they were like, yeah, the Infinity War trailer can't be seen by the public yet, but we've got one coming real soon. Whatever real soon meant, right? Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Wolves in sheep's clothing, am I right? Gah. Anyway,
Oh boy.
so I feel we've recapped some memories of the podcast that were
Good
quite
memories. Good
good.
memories.
Good memories,
yes.
good vibes, if you will.
Yeah. Ugh.
So we talked about
Some
the
bad
trailer
ones
thing.
too.
Yeah, quite a few bad ones for sure.
Oh jeez.
Potentially the ratio could be about the same.
Yeah, let's just forget about it, shall we?
Can you remember any news that's happened recently?
Any news? I think some of the big stuff. I guess just to follow up with our last episode, JJ.
Oh yes,
JJ.
Oh
is
yeah,
set
because
for
we didn't
episode
find out
9.
who was directing episode
Yeah,
9
that
on last episode, did we?
last episode was speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping George Miller or the dude who directed Tomorrowland.
Yeah, Brad Bird.
Brad Bird, yeah.
I was wanting Brad Bird or Matthew Vaughn or someone, but man, yeah.
JJ, I think it's definitely the safe route.
Right.
He's done it. They see what he can do. I mean, he's a solid director, so I'm not worried it's going to be terrible or anything.
Yeah.
I just would have liked to see 3 different directors view
that
on
OCD,
this.
right?
Because it's not going to go JJ Ryan, JJ, right?
Right.
It's like, whatever. But I think they could have got something differently. I mean, it should be fine. I'm still a big fan of JJ and what he's done. So
yeah, I mean, I think
we'll see.
Obviously, JJ knows how to tell a story. I think
he does. Yeah.
JJ Abrams. The thing about JJ Abrams is that he's not a creator. He's not someone who really creates new stories or is that inventive in terms of storytelling. But he takes existing things or he takes other people's ideas.
Definitely.
And he does a really good job of telling a story with that stuff. He's a great storyteller. He's not a great story crafter, but he's a great storyteller.
That's a good point. That's good.
Which actually I would say maybe even the same thing about me. Like if I was to become a director, like I'm not. Okay. I'm a very creative person, but many of my strengths lie in taking things that already exist and elaborating on them and criticizing them or taking them and making them, expanding them or something,
Yeah.
So actually,
retelling
I may
story,
be a little bit like J.J. Abrams in some ways, for all of his faults and all my faults.
Your little twins.
But yeah, so obviously he's the safe choice.
Yeah.
I wished they had gone with someone different, but at the same time, it's fine. It reflects on them. They fired Chris Miller and Phil Lord. They, what was the other thing? They really, they obviously don't want too much creativity and vision with these.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
really want them to be their own box.
Yeah, exactly. I think JJ, they'll be able to direct JJ in the way that they want, and he'll be able to comply with them,
Right.
Which is fine, it'll work out. But they just don't. I mean, because you could have totally got someone super creative and completely done it differently,
Yeah.
And so I can totally see, we see it with them firing Chris Miller and the other guy for Han Solo, right? They just don't want that aspect of creativity, I guess. So.
Right. Well, they want things that feel like the problem is that what me and you both want to see is like a Marvel Cinematic Universe thing where the Star Wars universe has films that fit into different genres, right? Marvel has comedies with Ant-Man, and it has political thrillers with Winter Soldier, and it has fantasy movies with Thor, But what Star Wars looks to be doing is having all their movies fit in the same vibe and tone and everything, and they didn't seem to want a funny Han Solo quirky comedy, even though I think that's what the entire world would have preferred.
Seriously.
Seriously. Come on, guys. You gotta get a read on this.
I guess the thing is, Star Wars has been part of families for generations, and it's like, if you're gonna make a Star Wars movie, it's gotta be watchable for the whole family. It's gotta be they can all come see it and have a good time. Because if you have a quirky Han Solo film, are kids really gonna dig that? Not as much as we will. So
yeah,
that's the same thing. I don't know if we'll get a hard, gritty Obi-Wan movie, which I would love. I don't think they would do it though, just because it's gotta fit in with all the others, same mood, same genre, family friendly. So
that's the sad part.
It is. But it's Star Wars.
They're doing a fine job.
They are.
It's just kind of disappointing in that way. But
how long can we last, though? How long?
Right. What else? I'm scrolling through comic book movie.
What has happened? Yeah.
Classic blockbusted move.
Comic book movie has been here from the beginning.
They have, really. Wow.
They have. From the beginning. 100 episodes, most reliable source.
That's a good point. Yeah. You know what I just realized? Whenever I hold my phone under this, my phone's brightness is like changing for some reason. Like,
yeah, the new update, it changes
really?
automatically.
Because
Yeah.
I just held my phone under the table where it was shadowy, and the phone, like, the brightness went down. But
Yeah,
then
it
I
changes.
held my phone under the light, and it went up.
Yeah, it's pretty whack.
That is pretty whack. Man, I didn't know that was a thing. Anyway, should we just get into the movies we saw recently? I don't care about news, really.
Should we?
That much.
Well, yeah, I don't remember too much big news.
Yeah.
Was there? I
Um,
feel like there was something though.
you and I have watched several movies recently, both of us, that
We've watched several
have
decent
been-
films. Yes.
have been decent and have been worth talking about. You
Yeah.
finally got to watch a movie that you've been wanting to watch for many years
Finally.
now.
Sure.
So you know what? I'll let you take over and talk about
Should
that.
we
eh?
jump into that?
Yeah.
Shall we? All right. Well, I finally was able to convince my dad to watch Mad Max Fury Road with me, and boy, I was glad I did. I mean, it is. Like, I knew, I mean, you had told me it's amazing, it's a masterpiece, all that, but,
Right.
like, even watching it myself, I was like, yeah, it is really a masterpiece. It's one of the best action films I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Like, without a doubt. I mean, the cinematography is beautiful, the action sequences are, oh my gosh, like, that is the best action I've seen. Like, I remember I was watching it, and, it feels very contained, it's not like going all over the place. It's very like, are we gonna do spoilers for this?
Sure. Yeah, most people have seen
Spoilers.
Mad Max Fury
Yeah,
Road.
yeah. So, like, Furiosa's just getting away with the wives on this truck, right?
Yeah.
And it's basically them going down through the valley and coming back. That's basically it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that first action scene where she first derails and they come after her. Like, that lasts for a solid, how long does that last? 30 minutes at the least?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, and then I remember just after that, I was like, they finally give you a breather. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Right.
Like that,
Yeah.
just the amount of practical effects, because you can totally tell, like, that's a real explosion, That's a real car tumbling through the sand, Yeah, it's still combined with CGI. And, I mean, that was just so cool to see. So refreshing to see something that good and well-crafted. And,
Mm-hmm.
like, even that, I mean, the story is fantastic. The colors are great. It
Well,
has
yeah,
all
people
these
act
orange
like, people go,
tones
oh, the
and-
story's weak or whatever. It's just about the
No,
spectacle.
I
It's
don't-
really
I don't
not.
think so at all.
The story
It
has
isn't.
lots of pretty
It's really
valid
strong.
themes and
Yeah.
through lines to it, and lots of great
Definitely.
setups and payoffs, and the characters
Oh,
are
it
pretty
does, it
compelling.
does.
I think it's a very well
I
written,
think, yeah, the
well
characters are great.
executed movie. Yeah.
Yeah, the characters, like you said, I remember you making this argument with Dunkirk, is
Mm-hmm.
they really do develop these characters without much dialogue at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see Furiosa right at the beginning, and you're like, oh, we're rooting for her, You immediately know she's up to something, yet you're rooting for her, because you see, I mean, they set up what's the big bad guy's name? I'm forgetting.
Immortan Joe.
Yeah, Morton Joe, you see him, he's giving the water to the people, but he takes it away, and it's like, oh, now, okay, he's the bad guy. And Furiosa, you can tell she's up to something. So it develops her character really well, and then Max, his character has developed great, with a ton of setup and payoff with the universal donor at the beginning, and then that comes into play.
Yeah.
How he's a scavenger.
The whole thing with the girl, the little girl that he has the flashbacks of. Yeah. That is what I
crazy.
said, for those who don't
So
know.
good.
I said that about Dunkirk, where I like Dunkirk enough, but I felt like the
love Dunkirk.
characters were
Just throw it out
very,
there.
I felt like the characters
I may be
in
Christopher
Dunkirk,
Nolan biased, but I don't care.
I felt like the characters in Dunkirk could have been much more well developed, and I get his point. His whole thing that he was trying to do was, let's do a movie where it's more realistic to war, where you don't get to know the characters as much, and they don't just sit down and talk about their, I got a wife back home and whatever thing.
Sure.
And that's fine. But I think Mad Max Fury Road is a great example of a movie where they don't have the sit down and talk about around a fire about, like, this is what I like to do and this is my past and this is my
it's
mission.
showing it instead of telling
It is,
exactly.
yes, definitely. Mad Max Fury Road shows everything and tells almost nothing. And that's what's great about it. And I really, I admire that, and I like the fact that even like some of the more minor characters, like the girl with the red hair, and each of the you know the women, the wives, each one of them even has a personality and a recognizable trait.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You've got the Christina, no, the Divergent girl, the Zoe Kravitz.
Good with weapons.
Character. Yeah, she's more of the tomboy, good with weapons one. You've got the redhead who is she wants to plant the garden. You've got the pregnant one, and she's a lot more timid and weak, you could say. And then you've got
But I also got the sense that she was like leading the wives too. You could tell
that's true.
She was the. I almost felt like she was the oldest, right? Leading them, so. But yeah, she's done well.
But there's a lot of depth to them that you can see, and lots of...
For sure.
I mean, the whole movie just has a lot of nuance to it.
Yeah, it does.
Where you can really read between the lines and see who people are. So yeah, I think it's a masterpiece. It's great.
It is. I mean... Yeah, I want to rewatch it like countless times. Like, like I said, cinematography, it's beautiful. You can take any shot from that movie and just frame it. You know, it's so perfect.
Have you gotten the Blu-ray
inspiring
yet?
Too. No, I haven't got the Blu-ray yet. I need to. I kind of want to get the Chrome edition just to see it in black and white, just to see what that's like. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was amazing. If you haven't seen it, go watch it immediately. It's well worth your time. And money. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best. I don't know what I would say is the best movie of 2015, but it's definitely.
Yeah, what did come out in 2015?
Well, lots of good stuff came out in 2015. Room, Creed, Star Wars: Force Awakens, Mad Max. But yeah, I would definitely say that Mad Max Fury Road is one of the greatest action movies of all time. And just in terms of sheer action alone, I think it beats out pretty much everything you could ever compare it to.
It does, yeah.
In terms of the actual full movie, like maybe Dark Knight is better in terms of a movie, but in terms of just the action, Mad Max Fury Road is the greatest action.
It blows almost everything out of the water.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's cool. You've got some other movies to talk about, right? But we'll alternate.
Yes,
I assume.
Sure. For sure.
I saw recently, so I talked about this in a Patreon exclusive movie review, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, on my Patreon, if you pledge $1 or more, which is like nothing, then
supposedly nothing.
Supposedly nothing. It could feed children in Africa.
It could.
And
but
instead you're giving
why
it
do
to
that
me.
when you could give it to Houston?
But if you pledge $1 or more on my Patreon, A, you're a great person, and B, you get exclusive patron movie audio reviews that I do. So when I see a new movie, I review it on audio and just post that to Patreon for the patron. So I did that for Kingsman: The Golden Circle, which I saw recently. And that's actually not the movie I'm going to talk about because it was awful. I absolutely hated Kingsman: The Golden Circle. It was just terrible. Ooh. Man alive. Like, if you listen to my review, which is just a full-on rant, it's just me ranting about it for an hour. Not an hour, like 20 minutes.
Sure.
If you listen to that, you can tell how much I hate it. There's so many fundamental problems with it. It's so silly. It's so ridiculous. There's no stakes. But that said, before I saw Kingsman: The Golden Circle, I made a point to see Kingsman: The Secret Service, which is the first film in the series, because I hadn't seen that until this year. And boy, oh boy, it's fantastic. I absolutely adored it. So both of us have seen two 2015 action movies that we had skipped out on up till recently. But yeah, I am thinking about doing a film workshop episode on it even because... Man, and I mean, I'm thinking about doing a film workshop on like every movie ever.
Seriously,
I've got
the amount of films in the workshop right now is a lot, my friends.
Yeah, man, the workshop can't handle all these films. I've got a whole folder on my desktop of film workshop thumbnails that I've made, and it's like 20 of them that I just haven't gotten around to. But anyway,
you know why?
School is fun. But yeah, I watched Kingsman: The Secret Service. Once I watched half of it, and then I went and I watched another movie, and then I came back and I watched the other half. Yeah.
Bad idea.
And then I reviewed it, and I was like, the pacing's awful. and I liked it, but the pacing's awful, and it doesn't really work that well. But then I sat down and I watched the whole movie in its entirety again without a massive gap in between. And I realized, oh no, this is fantastic. And I mean, it is.
So the pacing of the movie wasn't bad. It was the pacing of your life that was
Exactamundo. Yes. And it didn't even help that I watched the first half of Kingsman, then I watched A Ghost Story, which is this insanely depressing, sad movie. And then I came back and I watched the second half of Kingsman all in one night. So, that doesn't help with the vibe that you're getting.
Seriously.
But so, when I sat down, I watched it again in its entirety. It is amazing. I loved it. I think Colin Firth is great. The whole cast is great. The great thing about Kingsman is that it is satire of the Bond and kind of spy genre. It makes fun of the spy genre. But unlike something like Austin Powers, which is just all jokes about the spy genre and all this stuff and no real substance, Kingsman actually has a genuine heart behind it and genuine substance where it makes a lot of jokes, but it's serious sometimes. It's not just trying to be everything stupid all the time. It actually takes some things seriously and takes itself seriously, which is nice. And not to mention the action is fantastic. We're talking greatest action scenes. Like this movie has a couple action scenes that could be considered some of the greatest ever. Really? They're amazing. Like I said, the cast is great. The musical score by Henry Jackman it's got to be one of my favorites of all time now. Is it? Honestly, it's one of these scores where the main theme is repeated constantly and you really get it drilled into your head. It's really elegant. And just the whole idea of it is just great.
Sweet.
And I really didn't feel like it needed a sequel after it, especially. That's another, the sequel was bad, and I don't think they should have made it in the first place.
Ouch.
But man, you need to watch it, because it was one of my favorites I've seen in a very long time. It's just,
on the watch list
it's a great ride. I like it. So yeah.
Yeah, very nice. All right, what is that? Me up next?
I suppose so.
All right, well, I guess this is the last major film I've seen. I didn't see anything else, I don't think. But I finally watched, or I went to Best Buy to start it all off. I went to Best Buy, this infamous store, Best Buy. If you
Classic
know it.
Best Buy, yeah.
I was scrounging through the bargain bin, because I'm cheap that way. And they had a Shaun of the Dead steelbook.
Oh, yeah, you still need to mail me mine.
Yeah. Didn't watch the episode of Lost, mind you.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I was looking through the bargain bin, and they had 5 Shaun of the Dead steelbooks. I'd never seen the steelbook in the bargain bin before. And there was also Incredible Hulk and something else, but
Incredible Hulk
Shaun of the Dead
steelbook?
for it was the same art style as the Bourne Identity one, so it looked pretty dope.
Oh, that is cool.
But
man,
it's Incredible Hulk, so
yeah.
I grabbed I grabbed Shaun of the Dead, and then I came home and I'd never seen it. I'd been wanting to see it, trying to get through this trilogy. Hot Fuzz and At World's End is our next.
Yeah.
But I watched it, and I mean it's weird, but it's really good. I hadn't seen much zombie movies before this. In fact, this might be the first real zombie movie I'd seen.
Yeah.
And it was it's got Edgar Wright printed all over it, which you love. He's got his unique style. And but yeah, it was a lot more emotional than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it does. I think it actually has the most emotional core of Edgar Wright's movies. I've always thought that about Shaun.
And it's got some really, really great moments between the characters and everything, and gee whiz, it's really going down. They're in a bar yelling at each other, and it's intense. And then but yeah, it's super, super fun. It was a lot gorier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Gorier. But really brutal, but super fun. If you're a zombie fan, you'll love this, because it's just
and also
it's
got everything. Some great commentary on people, and sort of how we're all zombies in a way. Yeah. And then B,
that's a good point. Mm-hmm.
I like how it's actually Shaun of the Dead was one of Edgar Wright's first big movies well, actually not big. It was one of Edgar Wright's first theatrical movies.
Yeah.
And it's definitely got the lowest budget out of many of his films.
Yeah, you could tell. But
And
it's not bad at all.
the thing is, they managed to. It's very much an indie, but they managed to mask that by like, if you think about the movie, it really only has a few locations. You've got their apartment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You've got like the bar, the Winchester, and then you've got some streets and whatever. So
Streets, yeah.
it's not an expensive movie. But they managed to mask that, and it actually feels a lot bigger and more expansive than it would have otherwise.
Yeah.
So that's a cool part about it.
Super fun.
But
Fun.
yeah.
Simon Pegg and the other dude are super good in it.
Yeah, man. Now you've got to see
So
Hot
good.
Fuzz and
I
World's
know.
End. Hot
I
Fuzz
think
is
Hot
great.
Fuzz is next because I think I have easy access to that one. So
Oh yeah, it's on Netflix.
it's on Netflix for sure.
Yeah.
And then at World's End, I'll have to figure out somehow.
Yeah. World's
super
End
good.
is
Watch it.
it's great, but it's not as great as Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, I don't think.
I'm getting the ice cream, right? You got the
Cornetto trilogy.
the Cornetto ice cream,
Yeah.
and then you said jumping over the fence, right?
Yeah.
Tries to jump over a fence and fails. Beautiful.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Edgar Wright, gotta love that style.
What else have I seen recently? I saw I've been rewatching several movies. Like I rewatched The Big Sick the other night. That's a great movie. Everyone should see. It's on DVD now. Rewatched War.
Blu-ray? How dare you say DVD?
Oh yeah, sorry, man. Ooh. I rewatched Spider-Man: Homecoming last night, which is so much fun, so energetic, so exciting.
So good.
It has a great score. What else did I watch? So I guess I should talk about A Ghost Story, which I watched recently.
Yeah.
People have been
main
telling
big
me I
one,
need to watch
wasn't it?
this for many months now.
Uh-huh.
It came out back in July, but it was only like select theaters or whatever because it was so small. But A Ghost Story was made for $100,000. Which is nothing. Like literally
That's
nothing.
in
Like
the
my
movie
dad's
world.
movie.
That's nothing.
My dad's movie was made for $2 million, and that's
Really?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And even that, is barely anything either.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's insane.
But so, A Ghost Story was made for $100,000,
Yeah.
and for those who don't know, basically it's about Casey Affleck. Without spoiling anything, Casey Affleck dies, and he becomes a ghost, and it's like the white sheeted sort of like Halloween
it's not like
costume ghost.
not the foggy floating. It's just a dude with a sheet over his head.
Yeah. He becomes a ghost, and he kind of spectates on his wife as she grieves, and then also on the house that he lived in, which he's now like kind of bound to.
Okay.
As the house sort of moves on past his life. And it is moving and very inventive and creative and very specific and unique and something that, like, I just use the word specific because, like, it's something that you're either going to love or you're going to hate. I think objectively it's great, and objectively it achieves exactly what it was trying to achieve. You just may not like what it's trying to achieve. There is a scene in this movie. This movie uses tons of long takes, very long takes. And there's a scene in the film where Rooney Mara's character is grieving her husband's death, and she eats an entire pie in one take. And it's like a 6-minute scene, which is insane, with no cuts. And for me, I thought it was incredible. Like, and you're watching her slowly sort of getting more and more worked up about this and whatever, and her acting is amazing. But for some, including my younger sister who's 13 and thinks she can judge movies.
Oh, jeez.
For some, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so boring. Are you kidding me? Right?
Yeah.
But I think what the long takes are supposed to evoke in the film is when you're watching them, your mind is supposed to wander a little bit, and you're supposed to start thinking about the themes of the movie as it's so slow, instead of the movie giving you everything and laying it out all for you. But overall, like, it's very moving. It asks some pretty interesting questions, and I think, like, just on the whole, the one thing I would take away from it is it's inspiring because you go, this was made for $100,000, and
yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Maybe gonna get nominated for Best Picture, and
that's amazing.
They took this concept, a ghost concept, and
so simple, right?
Right, exactly. The whole concept of the ghost under the sheet
Yeah.
not expensive at all, right?
No.
No special
not at all.
effects, but it gives this simplistic vibe that's perfect.
Yeah.
And it just proves how far a simple idea can go
Seriously.
if you just roll with it and if you present it in a way that is self-serious.
Yeah.
Although not too
amazing.
self-serious. In fact, the movie actually does have some moments where they kind of humor the fact that it looks kind of dorky, the whole ghost get up. But yeah, it's great. It's inspirational. People should watch it. It's on iTunes now, and I think it's on Blu-ray this week.
I'm waiting for it to get available to rent because I definitely want to watch it. I know. I mean, after hearing you loved it, and then Alex AP Studios, he absolutely loves it too.
Yeah.
You know, he highly recommends it. So
yeah.
I definitely am hoping to watch it. So sounds amazing. So
that's that.
Very nice.
I think that's the most of the movies I've seen recently. I also saw like the Royal Tenenbaums, which is great, Wes Anderson film.
Yeah.
I watched Bridge to Terabithia again the other night.
Dude, that movie tears me
I know.
apart.
It's sad, isn't it? Man,
Dude,
but man, like Bridge to Terabithia, it's got some flaws. Like the whole fantasy thing
definitely.
with like them in the fantasy world with all these monsters and whatever.
Yeah.
It's very clear that they're just trying to be Narnia and be like, because that came out around the same time. They're just trying to build on that and be like, fantasy, you love fantasy. But the real world stuff in Bridge to Terabithia is phenomenal. Like the acting is great. The child actors are great. It's emotional. It tears you apart. And then all of the characters. What's incredible about Bridge to Terabithia, I don't know why we're talking about this movie, but what's incredible about Bridge to Terabithia is that all of the characters are so well-rounded. It's insane. Like the teacher in the class, the music teacher, his dad, his mom, his sister, the Anna Sophia Robb character, all of the characters, even the supporting cast, have a motivation and have some level of depth, just like with Mad Max, like we were talking about, you know. And they really develop everything so well, and you understand everyone, even the dad, who's such a great character. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to say that.
I made the mistake. I watched that movie. I rewatched it. I made the mistake of rewatching it on a Saturday morning, right when I got up, and I was the only one up. like the whole day, I was like in depression. I was just like, oh my gosh, like that's a way to start your Saturday morning.
But it ends with an uplifting ending with the sister.
Oh, it's so sad though.
Yeah.
It is so sad.
It is pretty sad.
Oh my gosh, tears me up.
Those people who haven't seen Bridge to Terabithia have no idea what we're talking about.
I guess part of it is too. I watched it when I was like younger, right? And even then, it like tore me up. So I guess it's like embedded in me that it has to tear me up.
Well,
right?
Bridge to Terabithia really gave kids the knowledge that they could die.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. It really does. Like, death is a real thing.
Right.
You know, and that's, I mean, it's so scary. It's terrifying. Yeah, it's reality, right? So, it really, I mean, you gotta love seeing, like, one of the things I love about it is it's a kid's movie, yet it's so dang emotional, right? Yeah. You know, and a lot of times, emotion movie, you get these kids movies that aren't that emotional, you know? Yeah. Just ruin the emotion, so.
Yeah.
Bridge to Terabithia, though. How do we get there?
That's a classic Blockbusted rant, ramble, wing it type thing. I think, should we move on to the hate comments as promised?
I remembered one other news.
Oh, yes, okay.
We didn't talk about the Isle of the Lost Dogs.
Oh, yeah, the Wes Anderson Isle of Dogs.
Wes Andy's coming out with a new movie.
Wes Anderson.
Let's go.
Has a trailer for his new Isle of Dogs movie, and it looks great, doesn't it?
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. I just recently watched Mr. Fantastic Fox. Super fun. Mr. Fantastic Fox. Whatever.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, yeah. But I recently watched that, and it's super quirky, super fun. And then to see this one coming out, I had no clue it was coming out. Yeah. Till I saw the trailer. I'm like, dude, let's go. Yeah. I'm down for a Wes Anderson film.
So. I'm always down for Wes Anderson film. His style and his ever consistent cast. It's just Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm definitely gonna see it opening weekend and try to support it. I do.
Yeah.
I hope he goes back to live action films.
yeah,
After
for
this, because that's what I said to you when we first watched the trailer. Was that like
Yeah.
I like his animated films. The Fantastic Mr. Fox is great, but like I feel like because his animated films, he does the same things that he does in live action in terms of style. Yeah.
Same shots. And
right. Same kind of shots, same kind of atmosphere, same kind of production design, but it's with stop motion. And I always feel like, well, when he does it in live action, it's way more impressive because you're whenever he does it in live action, it's like an animated world has been turned into reality.
Exactly. It feels cartoon.
But with animation, it's just like, well, the animated world is an animated world.
Yeah, you can easily do that. Exactly.
But, it's great. I can't wait. I do hope he goes back to live action films soon after this. Because I enjoy There's More, I think. But, yeah.
Have you seen the Grand Budapest Hotel?
I bought it on iTunes for $5 recently.
Okay.
And I haven't gotten around to watching it yet. That's the only major Wes Anderson film I haven't seen. So
and you just recently watched Royal Tenenbaums, right?
Recently watched Royal Tenenbaums and recently watched Rushmore, which is great. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I've only seen
Moonrise
Kingdom and Fox.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Moonrise Kingdom is my favorite because I love the whole atmosphere he sets. I love the whole setting of the island of New Penzance and the Boy Scouts and everything. I love the music.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoy that. But
Good stuff.
Hate comments? Shall we?
Sure.
Shall we? Man,
Shall we?
I gotta scroll through to find some stuff, but so this is gonna be the classic.
Come prepared. It's a Blockbusted podcast.
Yeah. Oh, here's a comment. Man, the thing is, like, sounds like it's gonna take me a while to find comments that are mean. No, nope. They're gonna come real fast.
They're all right here.
Here we go. Rapid fire. This comment is from my Marvel Cinematic Universe Analyzed review.
Yes, he still gets comments on that. Yes, he does.
Should I name the person who's commenting?
Should we shun the person?
Should we shun them?
Shunned you?
That's always my question. People on YouTube a lot of times go like, "Why did you show their name?" Because like you'll show a comment from some stupid comment in your video, and people go, "Why did you show the name of the person who commented or whatever?" Because that's a invasion of privacy or something. But they commented.
Yeah.
They put themselves out into the world.
You forfeited that right when you insulted me, boy.
Right. Well, quite literally, you did. So, Vanja Kapanavovic.
Why even try, though? Like, when you got a name like that, why even try?
It's so funny that all these kids made this as if they are Oscar nominee critics. It's really funny.
Well done. What an argument, It's,
I've got a few rebuttals to this. One, first of all, you need some punctuation there, but I'm not going to nitpick at that. Second, he says it's funny that all these kids made this as if they are Oscar nominee critics. It's really funny. So,
what's he talking about?
Is he talking about just me as the kid?
Are you more than one person?
Right.
Does he think?
Or this is my Marvel Cinematic Universe Analyzed review, so it's the one where I invited all those other movie critics to be on it.
I see.
But
he's calling Patrick H. Williams a kid, though?
Right. Out of all the people I invited, everyone else except a couple people is an adult. Yeah. So, don't know what you're talking about, unless he's saying, like, all these kids, like it's some sort of insult,
Unless he's, like, some 75-year-old dude.
That's true. That's
I'm just
true.
Saying.
I guess being 75 does give you the right to call anyone kid.
Call people kids, yeah.
Yeah. That's always funny is when, like, I'm trying to think of movies like that where, like, someone who's, like, 40 calls someone who's, like, 30, hey, kid, or something.
Kid, yeah, exactly.
Like, Han Solo calls Luke kid or something in Star Wars. That's not as weird, but I've seen other movies where it's just bizarre.
Yeah. It happened in real life, too, though.
And then third criticism of this comment is he says, it's so funny that all these kids made this as if they are Oscar nominee critics. It's really funny. Critics aren't nominated for Oscars, sir. So,
nominated critics.
In a way, you forfeited your right to judge this issue because you think that critics win Oscars.
Yikes.
Okay, let's keep going. This is going to be the best segment ever.
Oh, jeez, I can't even.
Someone said on my Remember, did I ever tell you why I ended up taking down my Why I Hate God's Not Dead video?
Did you take that down?
No, well, I put it back up just recently, but
Okay.
did I tell you why?
Well,
I feel like I might have, but anyway.
You probably did.
I think I might have told Jonathan when he was on here. So my God's Not Dead Sucks video.
Yeah.
I posted that about a year ago now, and it's fine.
And once he posted it, all of Duck Dynasty came after him.
That was So in that video, I make a jab. In that video, I make a small jab at Duck Dynasty.
Yeah.
And make some jokes about them because they're in that movie, and I think that's a bad choice. But so then when I went to LA back in January, and I got to meet Duck Dynasty, I got to meet Willie Robertson and his wife Corey Robertson, and they were at all the meals with us and everything.
You told me this. Yeah.
I was thinking, what if I somehow give them my card or something if I check out my channel and then they see that video, right? So I took that down just because I was like, I don't want to spread negativity towards Duck Dynasty.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
When I was seeing them.
Definitely.
So then now just a few weeks ago, I put it back up because a couple people had asked for it. So now that it's back up, I've got a new comment from this. This is from Bob Bricks. I assume it's a child, so I'm not going to be too mean because everything's misspelled and it's a Lego figure. No discrimination against Lego figures in the profile pictures. I know some could be adults, but you know, it says God's Not Dead isn't really that bad, and I'm even an atheist. So I don't know. I mean,
how do you think that though? Because it's literally saying atheists are a piece of trash.
Right. God's Not Dead is a movie that says all atheists are awful people who don't care if you get cancer, or will get cancer because they're atheists.
Yeah.
But also just because that's like saying, like you'll have that one black person who says like, I support Trump and I'm black, so that means that all black people support Trump. That's not how it is. It's not. Yeah. That's simply illogical. But we're gonna move on.
Okay.
That one was fine. It's not too hateful.
That was fine.
Right?
That wasn't too hateful.
Yeah.
That was just someone.
Let's see. Scrolling through. You should figure out something to talk about while I'm scrolling through.
What is there to talk about? I have nothing to talk about. Should I just play some music?
The level at which... No, you should not, because they're copyrighted, Hitchcock. The level at which people call me kid in comments on my Marvel Analyzed review is, frankly, over the top at this point.
Yeah, but then you get ones that call you like, this 30-year-old dude is so dumb.
See, that's the funny thing, right, is that in all the videos where I don't show my face, where I just do my voice, I get comments saying like, oh, this 30-year-old man thinks he can tell me how to think. And I'm like, I'm 17. Yep. But in my Marvel Cinematic Universe Analyzed review, which is the only video as of late where I show my face and it's mostly me on camera, everyone's like, hey, kid, shut up, kid, right? So that's why
you kid.
I have started avoiding showing my face because A, it does give people more ammunition, but B, I feel like the videos where I don't show my face, they last longer in terms of being able to go back and rewatch them. So like, that's why I showed my face in all my original YouTube videos when I did Lego stuff, and that's why they're so cringy to go watch because I'm so young. So all the ones where I show my face now will be cringy to go back and watch because I was so young then comparatively. So that's why I'm like, it's better to just not show my face. It'll last longer.
When you're married, we'll just bring up some HP1 originals. Just play them on the projector. Beautiful.
Let's see.
Houston One Productions back again with another video.
Hey guys, Houston Productions here, back with another video. Oh yeah, I said you know how in my Houston Productions 1 in 3 minutes video I say how I have OCD?
Yeah.
I've had a couple comments of people saying OCD is a serious condition and you shouldn't joke about it. Sorry, I will.
You're so mean.
Oh, this is my favorite comment. Okay, this is from Redstream Zero.
Nerdstream, what a ripoff.
Redstream.
Still, he's ripping off Nerdstream.
Yep. This is on my It
All right,
review.
let me lay into you, Redstream.
This is on my It review where I say the video is called "The Horror of It Isn't Scary," and
Yeah.
I give a bunch of valid reasons why I didn't find the horror in It scary. And this guy says, "Dude, just tell people the truth. You did got scared, and not lies just to tell you are buff. You do this just for views." Let me read that again.
Seriously.
Dude, just tell people the truth. You did got scared, and not lies just to tell you are buff. You did this just for views. I'm assuming that he only looked at the title of the video, and then he did not watch the extensive review where I gave all my reasons.
Mr. Redstream over here, he's just trying to make himself feel better, because he wants to know that he wasn't the only one that got scared. Okay, he wasn't the only one who pissed his pants in the theater. Okay?
Oh yeah,
he wants to know that other kids
Mm-hmm.
like him, you know, they were like, come on, man, don't hide it. You were scared. I was scared. You were scared. You know, we're all one happy family. Just rip off Nurseroom. He won't care. Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm gonna hunt you down, Redstream.
Boom, 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 boom.
Hey.
A
lot of hate out there, you know.
Oh, here's a guy. Okay. Marvel Cinematic Universe analyzed. It is in fact a color grading comment, right?
The color grading Nazi. Have you seen my Twitter bio?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Is that what it says now? This is
good.
from.
It's pretty good Twitter bio, if you ask me.
David Brahinsky, and he says, well, I'm not gonna say this word, but so he says, jerks. That's my replacement of the word.
Okay.
Color grading a movie is something done by editor with director. What you're talking about, it's the wrong "you're" as well. I mean, one would hope.
Oh, it's triggered.
What you're talking about is set design choices, whether they are CGI or real setting elements. The color palette is a active choice. Unless you're educated in set design or color graded a movie, don't speak about it. I am a trained set designer.
You're a trained set designer, eh?
He's a trained set designer. See.
You know what?
Thing that
you know
happens
what makes
constantly.
me happy? You know what makes me happy? Is to know that these trained professional set designers are watching your videos.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they're really.
I should feel
some
complimented.
inspiration. You should. You really should. You know?
Does.
I mean, this dude, he's a set designer, so he's got. I mean, he doesn't have free time. You know, he's always.
Yes.
Designing them
it's not
sets,
like he
you know?
just sits on the internet and watches videos and comments with no punctuation. Oh yeah, this comment has no punctuation. I just realized.
No, triggered.
But see, again, something that happens on all these comments so often is people go, "I am this. I have made films before. I do this." So that gives me the authority to say that you're wrong, instead of just telling me actual reasons why I'm wrong. Because I'm totally open to debate and stuff. But don't just say, I'm a film critic and you're wrong because I'm a film critic.
You see, by not giving reasons why you're wrong, they don't have to debate with you.
Right,
because
yes.
everyone knows
Classic move.
Debate with Houston and you're done for life, you know? So why even try, you know? Why not just slam them, just go with it?
So his point, which isn't like a terrible point, his point is that the thing I'm talking about with Marvel movies, where I say like lots of the stuff on the helicarrier in the Avengers is kind of boring to watch because it's so gray and so dull.
Yeah, it is.
And I credit that to the color grading. What he's saying is that that's not color grading, that is the set design. And that the set design is just boring, and it's, that's perfectly reasonable. But I think it's a mix of both, because if even the helicarrier, if you were to give the proper black values and proper saturation and contrast to everything, it would be interesting to watch. So you've got a point, but I think there's more to it than that, and I think I am still right.
Could have brought out the blues,
and that
you know.
Both of us are right in a way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bring out more color within the environment.
Because like when you think about the helicarrier, you got like the blue screen, you got the background of the blue sky, you got Captain America too. You know?
Right. Yeah.
But
the thing that I would have to disagree with the most in this comment from David Brahinsky is unless you're educated, as well, unless you're educated in set design or color graded a movie, don't speak about it, right? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I mean, that's kind of the definition of a film critic.
That's a film critic, exactly. how many major
Does he
film
comment
critics
that
out
on
there?
every review? He says,
exactly.
You said this movie's bad. Unless you directed a movie, don't speak about it.
How dare you criticize the acting? You've never taken no acting class.
You've never acted before.
You acting fool.
Man. Anyway, I got a comment from the FMI. That's what the name is. You got it all wrong, man.
FMI for my information. Okay.
No, I've substituted. It's a word there. The FUCKMI. I don't know what the name means, but he says on my It review.
My inside. I don't know.
He says.
FMI.
You got it all wrong, man. Okay.
Another classic example. Don't give reasons that you don't have to come back to this comment.
Classic example.
Because once you debate with Houston,
here's
you are
one.
Wrong.
So this is from one of the classic. I've taken down or I've made unlisted that reasons Logan sucks video because.
Oh no.
I've left up the Lego Batman movie one, the one where I say reasons the Lego Batman movie sucks, but both of them are satirical, as most people would know. Most intelligent people would realize that. Where I'm saying the reasons they suck, but they're actually reasons they're great, blah, blah, blah. But so here's another person who did not get the joke of the Logan one. He says, shouldn't you be in school and not annoying the internet? Young people these days. Tusk, tusk, tusk. And then a week later, he responded to his own comment and said, time to let the adults work. Off you go, sonny.
Oh shoot! HP1 still hasn't replied to my comment. I gotta go back there. I gotta get him.
How
triggered.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? Right?
Exactly.
So if I'm annoying the internet,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing with your life?
If by creating something, and I get that you didn't get the joke, but
yeah.
If by creating something, I'm annoying the internet, shouldn't commenting something on the creation of someone else be a further annoyance to the internet than creating something? I'm just trying to figure out the loop here, the logical fallacies, right?
And
I don't know.
He's calling you a kid, which means he's an adult. Like we talked about, he's probably
time to let
20,
and he
30.
capitalized adults as well. Mm-hmm. Time to let the capitalized adults work. Off you go, sonny.
If you're an adult, why the heck did you not get the joke? I mean, it's reasonable if some 10-year-old doesn't get the joke.
Right.
But you're clearly some 25-year-old.
Yeah.
So what's going on here, man?
I've got a lot of comments on my It review.
Sort this out.
I've got a lot of comments on my It review that say, like, because I criticized the first scene in the movie. It opens with Georgie being, like, brutally killed by this clown, by Pennywise.
The little cat sitting on the porch, like, what?
Like, it bites off his arm and stuff. And I was like, this is brutal and over the top, and I don't like it. I think it would have been much scarier if it was subtler.
Oh, yeah, like in the original. They don't show it, they just imply it. Right.
And I've gotten so many comments that say, but I want accuracy, and that's how it was in the book. They finally did it accurately. Look. And people say this about so many things, right?
Hey, kiddo, you know what else was accurate in the book?
The underage gangbang. Remember that?
You know what else was accurate in the book?
Oh, Lord.
Let's not get into details, shall we?
No. People make this argument about comic books a lot. They say, like, the Mandarin, it wasn't accurate to the comic books when the Mandarin was a joke in Iron Man 3.
The Mandarin!
Like, I do not care about the accuracy to any book or any comic book or anything that's
a film critic. It's
a movie
film.
Is based on.
Judge it by a film.
All I care about is the movie itself.
Exactly.
As long as they're not, like, fundamentally changing the source material. Like, making, like, I don't know, Superman a jerk who breaks people's necks, like, fundamentally changing the source material.
Oh, shoot.
As long as they're not fundamentally changing the source material, then
filed.
I don't care about accuracy.
Yeah.
But it seems that some people do, so that's just one thing. I also got a lot of comments on my It review. Lots of people disagreed. Lots of people said, like, first of all, there were tons of people who said, actually, no, it was terrifying. How were you not scared by this? Which is fine. You're terrified by it. That's fine. But then I also got a lot of comments
people get scared by
saying,
different things, so yeah.
I got a lot of comments ranging from what, like, you're a grown man, which I'm not, but they say you're a grown man.
Or are you?
What, like, since when do grown men get scared by horror movies? Like, there's a vast array of comments saying that, like saying you're an adult now, and adults don't get scared by horror movies, so it's your fault. Like, are you sure about that? Isn't that kind of the point of a horror movie, to scare people? I don't know. I didn't know there was an adult cutoff line there. I just didn't. I didn't get that when you turn 18, you become unscared.
You're doing something wrong, man.
But then I also got lots of comments that said it isn't a horror movie, which I think is just absolute crap. It's just ridiculous. And these comments are fair. Like,
it isn't a horror movie?
Right. Like, people go,
let's just hear.
It's not a horror movie. Actually, it's a drama, and the horror isn't supposed to scare you. It's supposed to be that the kids stand up to the horror. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
When a movie has jump scares and creepy monsters and stuff that are totally like the movie's looking at the camera and saying, be scared, it's trying to scare you. It is a horror movie. Now, there are lots of layers to it, and I liked the movie a lot because of those layers. There are other layers to it with the kids and their stories and their traumatic pasts and their parents and everything, and that's what people are talking about when they say it's not a horror movie. But there's definitely a huge side to it that is attempting to be a very scary horror movie, and that does not work. So don't come around talking as not a horror movie, fam. That's just not a thing, right? It's just ridiculous to say otherwise. But yeah.
I would argue with you, but Google is also arguing with you.
Let's see. Here's a...
Well, no, wait. Google It movie 2017. It comes up. Drama/thriller.
Oh, really?
Da.
Well, on IMDb, I looked it up.
Then you go to IMDb. Yeah. It goes drama, horror, and thriller.
Oh, got him.
Then on Rotten Tomatoes, it's drama, horror, mystery, and suspense.
Oh, here's a comment on my It review. Dislike. Anyone who looked at this movie for its horror. Instant dislike. Congrats, BTW. First vid I ever disliked. Man, I'm honored.
Wait, you haven't been on YouTube long, have you?
Right. There were far worse. Have you not disliked any Jake Paul videos? Man.
Oh, boy.
That was from Lord Heisenberg. But also no capitalization, just a note. But, you know. He says, dislike anyone who looked at this movie for its horror. Instant dislike. Fam, are you serious? You're telling me that I am looking at a horror movie and judging it based on whether it was scary or not, based on its horror, and you're telling me I'm at fault for that? Are you freaking serious?
I mean, even if you want to classify this as a thriller, thrillers are supposed to thrill you.
They're supposed to thrill you, yeah. And
exactly. So it's like, I mean, it's clearly it's drama/thriller, right? So it's people can be so immature.
Shoo. Let's see.
These 25-year-olds, man, what are they doing? I'm glad I'm not part of that generation.
Oh, I like this comment progression here. So this guy saw the Logan review, the Logan Sucks video, and the first comment he said is, "You're stupid. It's called having emotions."
Got him.
And used the wrong "your" as well. I'm at a loss at the fact that how many people use the wrong "your" on the internet. I'm at a loss. But he says, "You're stupid. It's called having emotions." Then the next comment he posted about 5 minutes later says, "This guy has to be being sarcastic." Then final comment he posted about 5 minutes after that was, "Oh, okay, I see."
I love it. You know, I love this. This is a classic formula.
Classic redemption arc. Right.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, a video. Okay, click. Oh, he's 5 seconds in. Nope, you're wrong. You're wrong. The title of the video, you're wrong. All right, I'm going to continue watching this video. Let's see here. 5 minutes in. Oh, well, okay. And then at the end of the video, he's actually being sarcastic. And he doesn't delete his comments. Like, I would have deleted my comment.
Right,
I don't know what's up with that, you know? Get rid of the evidence, man.
I saw one comment one time that was like, it was a series of like 10 corrections. Like they didn't realize they could edit.
Beautiful.
Like they were like, you suck, but they misspelled you. And then they replied to that comment with the you with an asterisk, like correcting that.
Yeah.
Then they replied again, correcting another thing. They replied again, correcting another thing. I was like, what? This is
I will give credit to that one dude for manning up, sticking with his comments, you know, not chickening out, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was wrong. I'm sorry. You know, he's kind of saying, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay,
you know, it's good. It's a breath of fresh air in this horrible, pathetic world of YouTube comments. Yeah. Here's one. He says, this is from Chad Dougherty. And he commented on my It review. Everyone's commenting on the It review. There's also a comment from Theo A.F. Burin that says, you're an awful YouTuber. Hey, he used the right your. This is great.
Oh, did he? That's gotta count for something, doesn't it?
But the comment before that says, this is from Chad, it says,
yeah,
I'm starting to think people are hating on this movie just to hate on it because it's so popular. So then I replied and I said, hey, remember that bit when I said I liked the movie a lot and couldn't wait for a sequel? Good times. And then he said, wasn't referring to you specifically. Get over yourself.
Ha! I was just commenting on your video.
I was just commenting on your video to not refer to you specifically.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry I confused that
YouTubers.
You were referring to me when you were commenting on my video. But then he says, get over yourself. Like, sorry, I'm just replying. I'm just trying to...
It's my video. In a way, I own you right now because you're commenting on my video. It's my property.
Oh, man. This might be getting old. We should probably wrap it up, but let's see.
You probably should. It's been a long day.
Oh, this is one. Someone said, this is Will Bertke. He said, who cares about color grading? WTF? And I said, me, the person making the review. And he said, that's actually a completely fair point. I guess I'm just a slut for bland colors.
Beautiful.
So I don't really know.
One to end on. That's a perfect one to end on.
You're right. We should end on that one. That's a good wrap up, isn't
That's
it?
Perfect. Who cares? I do. Good point. Man. Good point, Sonny.
I guess I'm a slut for liking bland colors.
You are. Oh,
I thought about replying and saying, no, I never said that about you. You're fine. But I was like, whatever, I'll leave him be.
I'll leave it. Oh, that's
leave him be.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anyway.
Beautiful.
So that was that, wasn't it?
That was the angry comment.
I know that was very self-indulgent and very self-glorifying, but yeah. I feel like some of y'all might get a kick out of hearing these dumb comments and hearing us ramble about them, right? Maybe some people.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Anyway.
I mean, we're doing this for a reason, aren't we?
Are we?
Are we? I don't know. Oh, boy.
All right. Well, I think we'll try for an episode next week. We'll try and get back on a schedule, right?
Because we're getting Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, baby! So yeah, we have a good reason to do this, don't we? Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Blade Runner 2049 has amazing reviews. They're giving it 5 out of 5 stars on Rotten Tomatoes. It got like a 98%. I'm so excited. I have tickets for Thursday night. You're seeing a double feature, right?
Seeing the double feature.
Boom.
For sure.
That's sweet.
It's going to be great. I can't
wait.
alive.
That's awesome.
It's going to be so good. We're definitely going to do an episode on that,
Yeah, so we'll do an episode on that. I'm very excited.
And then, hopefully, it's going to be kicking into
winter movie season.
Winter movie, because, I mean, we're going to have all these Oscar nominees coming out, too, aren't we? This is about the time.
We've got a lot of things to see.
It's going to be good.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been our 100th episode. Am I right? I mean, I am right, but
it has.
I'm just saying I'm right.
It has.
In a way, I'm wrong, though, because we've had so many deleted timeline episodes, right?
In a way, this is like 106 or something.
Probably something like that. Mm-hmm. Where can people find us on social media, Hitchcock?
I'm at nerd_stream7 on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd.
I'm at Blockbusted Pod on Twitter and at Houston Productions 1 on Instagram. Also, Blockbusted Pod on Letterboxd. And then to email us, You can send an email to blockbustedpodcast@yahoo.com. We've read a couple emails recently on the show, didn't we? Last week or last time? We were like...
Last time? I think it was the beginning of this month, actually.
Yeah. We can't say last week anymore. It's last time. But yeah. All right. That's...
Good stuff.
I'm trying to think of a way to climactically end our 100th episode, but this is it. This is Blockbusted, isn't it?
This is it.
Pathetic ramblings of
how
a crazy
else do we
person.
end it? You know, in a way, the greatest ending is
our classic catchphrases. Oh,
wing it. Yeah, just winging it. You know. I don't know.
I feel it's always applicable at the end of every episode, so I'm going to say it again. What even is this, guys? Thanks for listening all these
years.
All
these years? Question mark.
If you're still listening, I mean, we really don't have any grasp of how many people listen to the podcast, so it could be 0. But thanks for listening all these years, and we'll see you later. All right, bye.
For sure. Bye.
I was waiting for that one.